This video exists because I couldn't stop watching a 20-year-old superhero show 4 seasons in 4 days. Later, here are my non-Marvel superheroes recommendations. Number 1. Heroes. This is a superhero fantasy sci-fi mystery drama released between 2006 and 2010. After a solar eclipse, a group of ordinary people develops extraordinary abilities and is drawn together by a shared fate. As they learn to control their new powers, they work to prevent a devastating event while influencing the past, present, and future. Their actions bring both hope and unforeseen consequences. It's not based on one comic book in particular, rather it draws inspiration from comic books including X-Men, Watchmen, and so on. As soon as I started watching season 1, I thought, bring flip phones back, please. But jokes aside, I loved how cues were given to us slowly, while letting us meet characters we will eventually care for. None of the episodes feels rushed, nor is a filler, and I appreciated this balance. I was pleasantly surprised by the Star Trek cast members appearing every now and then, references to the franchise included. Don't look at the screen for a few seconds if you don't want to know beforehand, but here is a non-comprehensive list of Star Trek actors I recognized. In a way, I wish I had seen this when it came out, but I'm also glad I watched it now, because it partially satisfied my fantasy cravings. The story was fresh despite everything else that came out later and I watched before this one. I was hooked from the very beginning. My favorites are Hiro and Ando, the two main Japanese characters, both well-rounded, flawed, and worthy. Hiro, in particular, reminded me of how much we lost in terms of character arc and depth in recent releases. I find myself not caring for the leads because they are increasingly volatile or flat and uninteresting. But the heroes cast is brilliantly written throughout the seasons. Personally, I couldn't stand Claire, but I guess part of it is due to her being a teenager, and if that's the case, it's understandable. But let me know what you thought of the characters. Any favorite? Is this series new to you? If not, would you rewatch it? Side note, at least here in Europe, we will see the longest solar eclipse in years this August, which is exciting, so this feels appropriate. Number 2. Push. This is a sci-fi superhero thriller released in 2009, and even though it wasn't based on a book, a comic book miniseries was published alongside the movie as a prequel. Two young Americans with unique powers race against a covert government entity in Hong Kong. With a teenage clairvoyant, they pursue a missing girl and a crucial suitcase to achieve their goal. This is a movie that would have benefited from a longer run, either a series of movies or a TV show. Cool visuals and fight scenes. It sometimes reminded me of Tarantino, something about the style reminded me of Tarantino's productions. This was campy, cheesy, the colors were peculiar. Most people consider it a B movie, but it has so much potential and the powers were worth further exploration, in my opinion. In my last video, I mentioned Dakota Fanning and her incredible acting as a child and teenager, and she was amazing here too. Number 3. Raising Dion. This is a superhero drama series released between 2019 and 2022 based on the 2015 comic book and short film of the same name. A widowed mother learns her young son possesses extraordinary abilities and struggles to raise him while keeping him safe from those who would exploit his powers. As she searches for the truth behind his gifts, she also investigates the mysterious circumstances surrounding her husband's death. The story flows effortlessly between a child's everyday life and the gradual emergence of extraordinary powers. It never promises more than it can deliver, so I was pleasantly surprised by how engaging the story turned out to be. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be unassuming. But if you missed it and you're looking for a refreshing take on superheroes, I recommend it. Number 4. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is a 2018 action-adventure animated fantasy family film. After gaining extraordinary spider-like abilities from a radioactive bite, a Brooklyn teenager becomes the Spider-Man of his own universe. He teams up with spider-powered heroes from alternate dimensions to stop a powerful villain whose portal technology threatens every reality. If, like me, you go into this movie expecting nothing, you'll be surprised, for real. This is a refreshing, brand new take on animation itself. This could have been about any other superhero, because it would have been brilliant either way. Astonishing technique and visuals that should inspire a whole generation of artists. This is the best example of a comic book on screen. Is this the best Spider-Man movie plot-wise? I wouldn't know. I don't have a preference in that sense, but it's certainly the best example of craftsmanship showing us the love for this art and animation in cinema. If you're looking for something more nostalgic, here's a bonus animated show recommendation: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the series from the 90s. Number 5. The Incredibles. This is a 2004 animated action superhero family film. A family of superheroes living undercover in the suburbs is forced to reveal their powers when a global threat emerges. After years of ordinary life following a ban on superhero activity, they reunite to rescue one of their own and stop a dangerous enemy. The second installment is even better. I remember when this came out, I wasn't keen on seeing it because I didn't like the style, like literally the faces, body shape, etc. But when I eventually watched it, I was beyond surprised. And if you have yet to give the second one a go, just know that it truly is great. Nowadays, we may appreciate 20 years old Pixar productions precisely because we no longer see a masterpiece after the other as they used to give us. This was a technical wonder at the time, and it still holds. Both The Incredibles and Incredibles 2 are perfect to rewatch because they aged like fine wine. Number 6. Watchmen. This is a 2009 action drama mystery sci-fi superhero film based on a comic book series. In an alternate 1985, where superheroes are part of society, the murder of a former masked hero leads a relentless vigilante to investigate a far-reaching conspiracy. As he reunites with retired allies, he uncovers a plot that could reshape history and endanger the future of the world. I read some reviews, and here are some adjectives or comments attributed to it: amazing, bold, dark, aesthetic, brutal, good cinematography, deep characters, nuanced, long, gritty, gripping, bleak, impeccable cast. All I could remember when I decided to add this to the list was one dark scene. I mean, both figuratively and in terms of lighting. But I agree, it's moody, almost like a noir. And I was satisfied when I first watched it. I am rewatching it right now. I had to pause. I'm more or less halfway through it because I just realized it's on Netflix and I just finished Heroes. So since it's been so many years, I decided it was time to rewatch it. And in one scene, they had The Sound of Silence in the background, and it's one of my favorite songs, so I was pleased. What are your thoughts on Watchmen? Did this age well, in your opinion? Number 7. Supacell. This is a British action-adventure sci-fi superhero drama series that was initially released in 2024, and I'm not super sure if it's still ongoing. Are we really getting a second season? A group of ordinary people in South London suddenly develop extraordinary abilities, discovering that they share a mysterious connection. As they struggle to adapt to their new powers, one man must unite them to protect the woman he loves and confront a greater threat. As I said, I'm not sure if we will get season 2. I heard rumors, I read some articles, but I'm not convinced until I see it. Here we have an all-black lead cast. I appreciated the social commentary. Yes, the plot twists were predictable, but I was there for the ride, for the character development and their powers. Is this flawless? No, not in the slightest, and it's not certainly the best on the list, because here we have some unique productions, but it's still entertaining. And I was happy to see it right after Marvel started feeling disappointing. Are you experiencing some sort of Marvel fatigue as well? Number 8. Unbreakable. This is a 2000 sci-fi thriller film. A man walks away unharmed from a devastating train crash, prompting him to question the impossible. A mysterious stranger with a rare medical condition suggests an extraordinary explanation for his survival, forcing him to reconsider everything he believes about himself and his family. We talked about Unbreakable a few months back in autumn, so I will keep this short. It's an unconventional take on the subgenre and comic books as an art form. This is not everybody's cup of tea. It's slow, dare I say, meditative. If you have seen Unbreakable but never even considered the sequels, they are worth watching. Split in particular, which is the second installment, and Glass if you want to see the end of a trilogy rather than a great standalone movie. But Split could even be watched on its own because it's an acting masterclass thanks to James McAvoy. Number 9. The Umbrella Academy. This is a comedy, fantasy, sci-fi, superhero drama series released between 2019 and 2024 based on the comic book series of the same name. A dysfunctional family of former child heroes reunites after the death of their adoptive father to uncover the mystery surrounding his passing. As old conflicts resurface, they must overcome their differences and work together to prevent an approaching apocalypse. I was so surprised by this one. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anything about it and never heard anyone mention it. Yet I found The Umbrella Academy a few years after the first couple of seasons were released and I binge-watched it. Aside from the Wes Anderson-esque shots and narrative scattered throughout the show and peculiar comedy, the one thing that I received from this series is a genius selection of songs to add to my playlists. I admire the clever balance of music in this series, and even though it sometimes took me out of the story, I praise the choice of how and when to use certain tracks. Lately, Project Hail Mary has surpassed this, but still worth mentioning. Technically, I loved The Umbrella Academy, but only the first and maybe second season, but the final season is definitely not worth your time. Number 10. Smallville. This is a superhero sci-fi romance drama series released between 2001 and 2011 based on the DC Comics character Superman. A young man growing up in a small Kansas town learns to control his extraordinary alien abilities while navigating the challenges of adolescence. As he matures, he embraces his destiny, developing into the iconic hero he is meant to become. No doubt, this series has my favorite Lex Luthor. Would I watch this if I were a die-hard Superman fan? Maybe, but I'd rather consider this a time capsule and a high school drama with a touch of superpowers instead. I have to be honest, I don't remember finishing it. This is now the type of show I'd put in the background while working, enjoyable but not necessary, or that wouldn't hook me like Heroes just did. I have not picked this up since it aired here in Italy, so I may not enjoy it as much on a rewatch, but I don't know. Have you seen it recently? I was tempted to add X-Men to this list, but I wouldn't know which one I should recommend, and since now they belong to Marvel, I don't think they count anymore. I don't know. Either way, you should see the old ones. Or at least I remember enjoying the first few X-Men movies. Are there any other unconventional superheroes or innovative ways to see this superhero subgenre that you recently enjoyed or that you would recommend no matter what? If you know any, please do leave them in the comment section down below. And now that you watched this, check out the video on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe and hype this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.